The 2025 Wimbledon Championships were overall pretty mid in my opinion, and that's the perfect word to describe the fits many of these players wore at the championships this year. I was really honestly struggling to find the motivation to make this video because just so many of the fits were so blah and bland, but I wanted to keep my promise to y'all and at least give y'all something as far as fashion wise for these Wimbledon Championships. But anyways, now that that's out the way, hello, my name is Christian Basnight and welcome to Christian's Court, where I cover tennis from all angles. If you have not yet already, make sure you subscribe and click the notification bell so you are notified whenever I post more best and worst dressed fashion videos like this. My next one will probably be US Open or the US Open series. First, starting out with a big juggernaut, Nike, of course. The Nike London collection, according to them, serves up crisp, classic style for the grass court season, and they went back to their retro Nike court logo, and it's probably the only interesting thing about this collection. Aryna Sabalenka and Madison Keys, among other players, they wore the Nike women's summer London dress. It has a pleated back hem and also keyhole openings in the back. It's fine, nothing really too special about this at all, for real. Like, it's not a bad fit, it's just pretty much like blah, but at least they didn't just copy paste what they did for Roland Garros. They at least gave us a different design, unlike last year. I think my biggest issue with this is that Sabalenka was wearing it. I say that because Sabalenka should have gotten her own fit. There's no reason why Keys, Katie Boulter, and Paula Badosa, by the way, they played each other in the opening round and they wore this exact same dress, and that's not a good look. And I'm sorry, but Aryna Sabalenka and Katie Boulter should not be wearing the same thing. Like, that's ridiculous. Sabalenka is Nike's best women's player. She has been Nike's best women's player for the last 3 years or so. They gotta treat her better and give her her own fit. This is really bad treatment, in my opinion. Amber Kanu, Mira Andreeva, and also Jung Jin-Wen, they wore the Nike Women's Summer London Slam Tank and London Slam A skirt. It still has that keyhole cut out in the back. I mean, the front isn't doing much at all. So the back is really the only interesting thing about this outfit. Honestly, it looks like training clothes. Like, this is just honestly lazy. It's so boring. Nike knows better than this to only offer pretty much two options for their players. I know Anisimova, she did wear like a sleeved thing in one of her rounds, the quarterfinals, but even then it looks like training clothes. That's nothing special. This is Wimbledon here. This is not no small 250 tournament. Like, Nike has got to do better. And Naomi Osaka was the only player actually, period, male or female, who got their own special kit. And Naomi this time around, she did not do the whole flower ensemble, and she kept things simple with this pleated dress. And she said that the US Open outfit is really extra, so she thought that she should be really calm for Wimbledon. And I like this. I like the design from the middle to the bottom. I like the detailing of that. I'm really not the biggest fan of the neckline, to be honest. I think more of a V-neck would have suited this better than what she had here. It kind of makes it a little bit more plain, and the bottom half of the dress, from the middle to the bottom, definitely. But overall, it's a solid fit, I'd say. Looking at the men's, Carlos Alcaraz, Holger Rune, Jack Draper, they all wore the Nike men's summer London Slam top and Slam short. It's fine, but again, Carlos should not have wore this. Carlos is the two-time defending champion. He should have got his own specialized kit. I understand that Nike, there might be dealing with some issues financially, but they still could have brought the corn together to give Alcaraz his own collection by now. The $200 cardigan didn't do much to save the look, to be honest. It's not bad, but it looked weird on a plain t-shirt. I think it would have looked a lot better on an actual like collared shirt. And speaking of collared shirt, Jannik Sinner, he did wear, you know, the men's summer London polo, and it's basically the same thing as his Australian Open shirt with the tacked down collar. I do prefer this look more than the basic Alcaraz tee, and Karen Khachanov, he also wore this shirt as well, so Jannik did not get his own special little look here. But again, he needs to have a look exclusive to him, Jannik does, and Nike needs to give Alcaraz and Sinner the Rafa and Roger treatment at this point. Maybe they could have given Alcaraz a sleeveless look, given him something different, even like a little bit of a crop, like something extra, instead of having them wear the same thing as the other guys. It's ridiculous. I mean, they did give Alex Yala her own special hair tie, which features Philippines' national flower. So at least that's something, but a 4.5 / I'll be generous and give them a 5 out of 10. bottom line, this just is such a basic collection and they need to do so much better by its stars. Nike definitely needs to take notes from Adidas when making their collection for next year, because Adidas gave their best collection in years. And I understand why their Roland Garros collection was so mid, because all their budget went to this Wimbledon collection. There are 36 pieces in this Adidas London Originals collection, which draws from the rich culture born from the world's oldest tennis tournament and its iconic clubhouse to explore fresh perspectives, new cuts, and silhouettes on the white base of its long-standing dress code. And the designs pay homage to, the era-defining styles of players from the 70s like Stan Smith and Billie Jean King, who famously wore the trefoil logo on, the grass court fits at Wimbledon in the 70s. And this is the first time they brought back the trefoil logo in over 30 years, and that really adds to that classic feel. And first, looking at the men's fit, Stefanos Tsitsipas and Felix Auger-Aliassime, they both wore the Adidas Men's Original Pro Polo, and it features a partial quarter zip, and it has a knit fabric with the argyle pattern on it. It also is paired with the Adidas Originals 2-in-1 short, which many guys wore. I love this design. I actually ordered the shirt. It should have been here by now, but Tennis Express really fumbled and messed it up. I'm so annoyed because I would have worn it for this video, but anywho, also the design of the shorts too, which features satin binding on the sides and kind of a little, I don't know how to describe it. It's kind of reminiscent of Daniil Medvedev shorts that he wore with Lacoste a few years ago. I just like that design of shorts. I think that more brands should bring this design back into their collections. Gabriel Diallo, he wore the Adidas Men's Original Pro Top. It's basic, but it's still solid. Gabriel, he really took it another notch with that headband too, and I feel like Diallo is just really such a stylish player. I do like the mesh writing on the crew neck and the sleeve cuffs, as well as the green detailing on the sleeve cuffs as well. That gives it a little bit more pop. And I like how Diallo carries this look. He has a whole lot of swag with him, so look out for him to be one of the best dressed on the men's tour. Jaime Munar, again, really an amazing fit. He wore the Adidas Men's Original Pro sleeveless top, and it features a ribbed V-neck, and I think it looks nice. Almost looked like a sweater vest, to be honest, but again, I can't complain. Another great look, and I like how they did something a little bit different going sleeveless, because that's oftentimes not what a lot of guys wear at Wimbledon. I think that more guys should do that to kind of give it just an edgier look, you know what I mean? Now, the top-ranked Adidas women's player, Jessica Pegula, wore the Original Pro Wild dress, and it's very similar to Munar's fit as far as the style and the ribbed V-neck collar. It's essentially the dress version of what Munar wore, and I do like how on the sides it kind of mirrors the men's shorts design with the satin binding on the sides, and it was a bit simple, but Pegula really livened up this look with her on-court walkout, where she sported a boxy warm-up jacket along with a long, dramatic skirt. And I feel like this definitely took inspiration from Serena's 2021 Wimbledon walkout look, as she also kind of had a train effect. And it's really a shame that she wasted this whole ensemble on a 6-2, 6-3 loss to Cocharetto in the opening round. Xinyu Wang, she wore the Originals Pro Wild Tank, which is basically a tank top version of the dress that Pegula wore, but she really elevated it too, pairing it with a pleated skirt that kind of gives me Suzanne Longland vibes, if that makes sense. It's kind of like a dramatic pleat in a way, but it's nice and free-flowing. I like the design of this. It's a very classy look. Karolina Muchova, who lost to Wang in the opening round, she also wore this pro pleat skirt, but she paired it with the Originals Pro Polo shirt, and it kind of has a boxy fit, but I like it. It seems flowy as well. Low-key kind of gives a crop top effect. And again, I like this fit. Sonia Kartal and Clara Towson, they also wore this top, but they paired it with shorts, and that gave it definitely a different look. And I think I do prefer the skirt version, but I think both are good. I like them all. And Clara, she wore some long sleeves for a different look too. Now, both Maria Sakkari and Alina Svitolina came through with the edgy fit as well with Adidas. They wore the Originals Pro onesie, and again, it's very edgy. And I know some people might not like this, but I think it looks good to me. It's very retro, yet fashion forward, and I like the zip. And really, what a strong way to take advantage of the all-white dress code to bring us something different. And it's kind of pushing the lines of the dress code, I feel, a little bit, but also still, again, pretty classy. And I love this because, again, it's It's so different. We don't see this. It's very unique. And honestly, I feel bad for Adidas because they came out with their best collection, again, in years, yet none of their singles players made the quarterfinals, both men's and women's. Truly a travesty. And you know a collection is good when I feel compelled to buy something from it. Because again, not only did I buy the Pro Polo shirt, but I did buy also the set, the warm-up jacket, and the pants. Adidas gets a 10 out of 10 for me. Their best collection, again, in such a long time. Props to Adidas. Next is New Balance and their shining star, Coco Gauff. She was given a fit that was supposed to pay homage to Wimbledon's rich history. They aim to blend traditional style with timeless elegance, according to them. And I'm honestly very conflicted still on this fit, and it's been weeks. It's a romper slash onesie, and it has a tailored corset with some embroidery, including 3D butterflies and flowers and strawberries. There's also some palm trees at the bottom, which gave an ode to Coco's Florida roots. And Gauff wore a pleated kilt over the romper, which had a belt on it as well. And that supposedly was inspired by British punk rock aesthetics. And it also had a cutout in the back. And it reminded me of Sloane's 2015 French Open fit, that whole cutout and style. And I really wanted to like this fit from Coco. I really did. But it's just like, it's not doing something for me. It's not doing it. I do like the cut of it, like in the front, it's different. And the cutout in the back, I like that. But I think what it is the skirt doesn't go with this at all. I think the embroidered romper and the skirt separately are good, but together they don't work in my opinion. And I think that she should have taken notes from Sloane on how to execute this type of style with the cut, both in the front and the back. And the kilt skirt was simply too much. She should have gotten rid of that. And it should have just been a simple dress, no romper, with a simple like lower half, no pleats. And it didn't help either that her makeup got on the kid as well. It honestly was kind of a disaster, and it's low-key good that she lost in the opening round. I say it's a miss for me, because I put Coco at a high standard, so at the standard, it's a miss for me. I know a lot of people love this one, so this might be a controversial opinion, but I wasn't a big fan of this one. I honestly think that Coco might have been better off wearing this novelty tournament tank and skirt combo that McCartney Kessler wore. It is simple, but I like the nice detailings with the lime green and neon detailing on the top here, on the sleeves, and on the skirt as well. And I think the neon detailing would have better fit the green apple CG2 shoes that she wore as well. We didn't see much of Tommy Paul because he lost in the second round, but he wore this quarter zip shirt, which I do like. I think the quarter zip gives an edgy effect, but I wish there was more color going on here, specifically light green to match the shoes that he wore. A bit disappointing that he didn't take it there a little bit more with the color, but I mean, I do like the design of the shirt. Overall, New Balance was disappointing to me. I gave it a 6 out of 10. Now, unfortunately, once again, Wilson's Wimbledon collection did not see much court time, as many of their star athletes lost in the opening 2 rounds, and it is a shame because their collection was once again a hit all across the board. We had high hopes for their star, Marta Kostyuk, after last year's Wimbledon look, which was inspired by her wedding dress, and she did not disappoint. She wore an all-white custom version of the apron tennis dress, and this is pretty edgy for me, and I think it's perfect for Wimbledon, and I think it's good to take chances at a slam like this with the all-white dress code and bringing in different cuts and designs, because again, it's all white, and you don't have to worry about, you know, colors as well. And I'm not the biggest fan of this look, to be totally honest, but I still like it. It's something different. It has some side cutouts with an open back design with some crisscross straps. It also has some pleats and ruffles at the base to give it a little bit of extra going on. I don't know if I'm a big fan of that, to be totally honest, but still a cool fit. Next, Alicia Parks. She wore the Uptown Court dress, which is the same exact dress that Kostyuk wore at Roland Garros, but Kostyuk's Roland Garros dress was more of like an olive green color, and I really like this design a lot. It has a cutout in the back and also a slit at the bottom. Very classy, yet interesting and edgy a little bit, considering that it's Wimbledon. And I think this is by far one of the best dresses of the championships this year. On a similar note, Peyton Stearns, she wore a white version of the same dress that Alicia wore at Roland Garros, and it features a collared neckline with some pleats from the midway all the way down to the bottom. It's very like quintessential Wimbledon. It's very classy, looks nice, and I like it. Victoria Mboko, she wore the all-court tennis dress, which also had a collared neckline, but this one featured a half zip in the front, and the back of this one has perforations for added breathability, and there are also some flowy pleats in the back to give it a little bit more extra going on. And this is a very clean and classic look. I have nothing really wrong to say about it. And then last but least, Nicolas Jarry. I know I always throw shade, but this time Nico actually went the furthest out of all the Wilson athletes. He beat Holger Rune and Joao Fonseca en route to the second week, so props to him. Not much too special about this, but I mean, a sleek and clean look. I like the lining. Is this lining, y'all, on the little lines on his sleeves? Let me know. I don't want to be saying the wrong things, but whatever it is, I do like that. It gives something extra to it. Again, more of a classy Wimbledon type of look. Overall, I say that Wilson, they definitely did another big one here. They simply just don't miss. They get a 9.5 out of 10 for this collection. Yonex is next, and their London 2025 collection is essentially a white version of their Paris 2025 collection, so I'm not going to spend too much time on this. Elena Rybakina, she wore the London dress, and it's literally like the same dress that she wore Paris, but it's white and it has that green logo, which does give it some pop of color. And it's a little bit of mesh at the neckline a little bit. And I like the neckline look. It kind of gives it like a princess type of effect. And it's low key like a nice slam winning dress. Of course, she did not win this slam. She lost in the third round. But this dress is pretty pricey though. It's $170. Moving on, Linda Noskova, Marketa Vondrousova, and Diana Yastremska were the separates of this whole ensemble. And I did not realize that Yonex clothes were this expensive because it's $120 for the tank top alone, which is insane. I do enjoy the whole like fairy-like aesthetic it kind of gives, and you can kind of like see through. It's kind of see-through in the back, and also the whole entire skirt seems to be like very see-through, and it's kind of like gives it more of like, again, like that fairy floaty effect. Zizou Bergs, he was like the main man who represented Yonex since Casper Ruud was injured and did not play at Wimbledon. He sported this shirt which had a ribbed collar with a mesh insert, and there was also the mesh insert on the sides and underarms and other places for breathability of this shirt. Nice shirt, but again, why is it this expensive? $140 for this shirt? Like, this shirt better make me play like Jannik Sinner for it to be this expensive. This is unbelievable. But Yonex, I mean, it was a calm little chill collection. I give it a 7.5 out of 10. Nothing really new or revolutionary, but the original cuts and designs of this, which they copied from Paris, were nice. So I think it also translated well to the grass. So again, 7.5 out of 10. Asics was similar to Yonex. They recycled what they've been doing pretty much all slam season, but it's just not nearly as great as what Yonex did. So I'm not going to spend too much time on them at all. Really, Lorenzo Musetti's fit is the only one worth noting for real, and he made a statement as soon as he stepped out on court. He wore a Bottega Veneta jacket wearing the brand's signature intricciato, I'm sorry, y'all, I'm not Italian, intricciato weave. And it's fitting because Lorenzo was recently announced as the Italian brand's newest brand ambassador, and Lore is obviously Italian, so it matches well. Unfortunately, we did not see him in this jacket for long as he lost in the opening round, but hopefully we'll see more crossover collabs between Musetti and Bottega as far as like them collabing for on-court looks, because this was a good moment. And I feel like this is a note for other brands to at least give us a moment with the accessories if you're going to just do a copy and paste. I also do like Musetti's actual outfit he wore on court. This Henley, I think, really fits the vibe well for Wimbledon, and I also like how the patterns, detailing, and mesh is more highlighted with this shirt. Now on to the most fresh and innovative brand by far, On Running. They came up with something new and fresh. I mean, obviously I'm joking, y'all. They've been recycling the same old thing, nothing new, same old thing. Iga Swiatek, she's literally been wearing the same thing for the past 3 years. You know, reduce, reuse, recycle, but she won the towel in it, so it's a slam winning fit, whether you like it or not. Ben Shelton, he did wear something different this time. The 2 previous years at Wimbledon, he wore like a plain shirt, but this time he opted for a sleeveless look, which I think, I mean, that was edgy at least, so that was good. Ben gets best dressed, at least for that. But honestly, don't expect anything different from On for the next 10 years at Wimbledon. I think it's going to be the same thing. Recycle, recycle, recycle. Because they just can't bring themselves to actually like bring a different design. They can't bring no like collars, no cutouts, no nothing. But on the side, I do want to highlight Iga's Champions Gala look. She wore a lilac Stella McCartney ball chain halter neck satin maxi dress, and unfortunately the dress looks much better on the model, and I say that because this does not fit Iga well at all. Like, did she use a hair tie to hold the dress together? The stylist should be a dang shame. They could have at least gotten this tailored for her or just went with the outfit that actually fits her, because we cannot have our women's champion looking like this. This is ridiculous. What she wore to watch the men's final was miles better than this. So they should be an utter shame. That's probably one of the worst gala looks that we've ever seen. And I'm not trying to say this to bash Iga before the Iga-nators try to come for me. It's simply because the stylist should get all the smoke. Next, Jannik Sinner in his gala look. It was pretty basic. He wore a custom Gucci suit with loafers. Nothing really special. Nice suit, I guess. The shoes give it a little bit more oomph to it. I do like those loafers. I would get them for sure if I could actually afford them. Lacoste, I mean, same old with them. Not going to spend too much time on them. Novak Djokovic's racket bag was really the only interesting thing about his whole ensemble, and that's not even Lacoste's own doing. Credit should be given to Head for that whole kind of retro type of look. Speaking of Head, Barbora Krejcikova, the defending champion, she went back to them recently after she won the title last year in Fila, and you know, it's fine. It's kind of similar to Rybakina's fit a little bit, but it low-key reminds me more of Serena's 2009 fit. Again, not bad, not anything too special, but I do think overall it's one of the better fits, I'd have to say. Leylah Fernandez, she has been rocking Lululemon for a long time, and she did lose early once again, which is a shame because once again, Lululemon gave her a good fit. They gave her a crop top fit, and on first look, it might seem basic, but when you look closely, you see a scallop design on both the top and bottom, and you don't really see that for a top. You normally see that for a dress or a skirt, so I like that different type of look and aesthetic. That look nice. Then you have also Psycho Bunny. They're kind of a newer brand, but they've delved into tennis more so this year. Arthur Rinderknecht and Alexei Popyrin wore, I think, two different versions of pretty much the same thing, but the collar detailing was a little bit of a different color comparing the two. And I like this. I mean, it's not much, you know, special with it, but I think it's, like, again, nice and clean. It fits them well, and it's very much like classic Wimbledon preppy vibes, I have to say. Next is K-Swiss, and I think K-Swiss, they really impressed me this year. First, their main man, Andrei Rublev, I mean, he just never misses. And I also appreciate whenever there's a little bit of pop of color at Wimbledon. It's not much, but the green lining here through the sleeve does do something for me, I have to say. So that's for sure a hit. Then you have the Russian stars for K-Swiss, Ekaterina Alexandrova and Ludmila Samsonova. They kept it clean and simple, wearing a nice, you know, collared buttoned up tank and a, you know, skirt with a slit on it as well. Again, it's very simple, but it looks good. I have no complaints for this at all. K-Swiss might be like top 3 or 4 brand for me this year for Wimbledon. They get a 9 out of 10 from me. Another Russian, Anastasia Pavlyuchenkova, she wore something from the Wimbledon collection itself, it seems, and it's like a polo, traditional collared type of shirt aesthetic it was going for, and I mean, I like it. It's nothing too special, but I think it looks fine on her. So I have to say that's a hit as well. Last but not least is Maya Joint and Elite 11. Again, I feel like she's been wearing this type of design of dress for pretty much the entire year, but if it's not broke, don't fix it. And it looks good, and it still looks good in white. So props to Elite 11. They're another underrated brand. That is all I have for my Wimbledon best and worst dress video. I know it wasn't my best because it wasn't as much to look at. I mean, it was all the same color and the designs weren't bold at all, but I gave y'all something. Let me know in the comments which fits impressed you the most and which fits disappointed you the most, and also drop some fits that you feel like I missed that deserve some shine. Again, make sure you subscribe and click the notification bell so you're notified whenever I post my actually exciting best and worst dress, the US Open. So looking forward to that one. Thank you all so much for watching and for your support, and I will see you all next time here on Christian's Court.